Leon, you good? Okay. All righty. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Oviedo City Council chambers. If everybody can stand, and as you can see, we have Troop 139 with us this evening, and I believe they're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So, gentlemen, I'll let you all take it over.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys. Great job. Let's just get one item done, and then I'll do a quick recess, and you can get them all home to homework and stuff. Chief? We'll use the professional chief tonight since we have guests.
No. He did. He fooled us all. He did great last time, Chief.
I think he's on vacation next council meeting. I'm not sure.
Is he?
I don't know.
He better be here on the 18th.
If you'd like to pray with me, just please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come to you tonight to do the business of the city, bless this council as they vote on and discuss and pass whatever they need to pass in order to do the business of the city for the betterment of the citizens, residents, and visitors. We ask that you protect them, protect their families, protect those that are here observing, participating, that you give them safe travels home. We ask those that are serving that you protect them and their families, and all of these in your name that we ask. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chief. All righty, so before I convene the meeting, let's just take a quick recess. We'll let you guys get the troop out, and unless you want to keep them for the meeting, it's entirely up to you. I didn't think so. All righty. Guys, thank you for coming down, and you did a great job with the Pledge of Allegiance. We appreciate it.
What do you think?
You can ask them. You guys, you want a picture with the council before you go?
Did you want a picture?
Yes. Why don't you line up here? Anything to not go do homework. That's how you roll? Thank you, sir. You guys don't want to do homework. You want to rows. You have to tighten this up a little bit. Everybody a little taller in the back, a little shorter up in the front. Tom, I'll let you put it on. Hold on. Yeah, sure.
Boys, over here. Big smile.
Newsletter. All right, big smile now. There we go. Come on. One more. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great night.
No, I'm not. I'm not moving anywhere.
No, you sure are. Yeah, I'm counting on you.
All righty. Well, that emptied the place out. All righty, so I will call the meeting officially to order. It is about 6:40 on October 21st, 2019. I want to welcome everybody to the Oviedo City Council meeting. We have all members of council present. Our first order of business is a ceremonial item, and it is a presentation from the Florida League of Cities. Come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Mark Suttig with Florida League of Cities. I'm here for you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
This is kind of a big deal. It's not very often that we have city officials that volunteer their time to serve long sentences.
You were here for Councilman Brayton.
There we go. Yeah, that's what it was.
He's another long timer.
I recognize the area, and now I'm here for you. If you'd like to join me at the podium,
Sure.
it's up
Council,
to
why don't you join me? I'd
if you'd like
appreciate
to. And with your permission, I'll begin this resolution.
The floor is yours.
It's a resolution of the Florida League of the Board of Directors of the Florida League of Cities Incorporated, honoring Dominic Pierre. Thank you. I think I have the wrong glasses. For 20 years of elected service, and presenting him with the John Land Years of Service Award in recognition of his unselfish commitment to municipal leadership and governance. Whereas America's municipal governments have long relied upon the unselfish leadership of their citizens for local self-government, and Florida's municipal governments share the time-honored role as the level of government closest to the people. And whereas this reliance places extraordinary responsibilities upon citizen legislatures, municipal elected officials, who make significant sacrifices of their time and energies on behalf of their citizenry, often for little or no compensation, making this commitment a true labor of love. And whereas municipal leaders strive for excellence in the governance of their city, town, or village, and commit themselves to providing quality services, governing effectively, and working to improve the quality of life. Whereas the League has named its years of service in recognition in honor of John Land, the mayor of Apopka between the years 1949 and 2014. So in about 40 years, you would have caught him.
At least 30 more.
But he was a leader whose dedication is unsurpassed at the national and state levels, and who modeled the way for decades of municipal leaders. Whereas several terms in office is the highest compliment voters give to an elected official, and with these years of experience comes a strengthening of wisdom, discernment, and strong leadership skills that brings tremendous value to the municipal governments of Florida. Whereas Dominic Pierre has held office in the city of Oviedo for 20 years and is recognized for this achievement. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the Florida League of Cities Incorporated that Dominic Pierre is commended for his dedication to the city of Oviedo and is hereby recognized as an outstanding public servant in Florida, adopted by the Board of Directors assembled this 16th day of August in Orlando, Florida. Leo Longworth, President. Mayor, congratulations. 20 years is quite an accomplishment. Congratulations.
I don't even know what to say after 20 years. I'm a little bit speechless at this point. But, it's just humbling to be elected for this long and to be recognized and reelected 10 times. The accomplishments that we have done. And it's a we. It's not a me. It's not an I. There's 4 members standing with me here. There's been many members before me. who've sat with me, people before that. I mean, just look at the wall of mayors up there. So it's humbling. It's, like I've said to everybody, at some point in time, everything comes to an end. And this was just a good time. It was a round number. It was 20 years. So it's been great. I truly appreciate the award. To those of you sitting in the audience seeking election right now, best of luck to all of you. And who knows, maybe one of you will have 20 years as Councilman Britton and myself have had. I mean, I'm not the only one at this dais right now who have served the city for 20 years. I mean, let's not forget Keith has done it as well. As a matter of fact, Keith, you were on land planning before me, right? By a couple of years, I think, when I got on land planning. So it was called land planning, then we changed it to PZA, and now it's back to land planning. Again, yeah, I think it's LPA again. But anyway, just thank you to everyone. Thank you for your faith and confidence in me all these years, because without that, I wouldn't have gotten this award. So let's get the meeting going. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Chief, you just keep getting bars. Is that how it works in your field? I always joke about this also. I've been here so long, I still have one of the old lapel pins. Barbara, I don't think there's any of these left. A couple in your drawer hidden?
I call dibs.
Nah, those are, that's like a historical marker, that thing. There you go, Megan. You can make a historical marker out of this somewhere. But, all right, let me get this off the dais. And for those who don't know, quick story about John Land. He was elected mayor for 50 some odd years, 51, 52, something like that. Until he lost. But he actually lost an election. One of his terms in the 60s, he lost. He was out of office for 2 years and came back. So he had a total of 50 years, 52 years, I think it was, of elected service. So that was quite impressive. I can assure everybody I'm not going to come back and serve another 30 years. That will never happen.
At least one.
Famous last words.
I didn't say I wouldn't come back and serve. I said I wouldn't come back and serve 30 years. All righty, let's move on. We have the approval of the minutes for September 30, 2019 of our work session and our October 7th regular session. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve both.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion?
No. Good.
Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, this is our public comment portion of the meeting. It's open to anybody who would like to address council on any issue. I do have one written request from Megan Sladak.
Good evening. My name is Megan Sladak, and I live at 6007 Lake Charm Circle. This evening, I just wanted to turn over to council a collection of names of people who have signed a petition saying that they are very interested in slowing down growth on the 60 acres on Mitchell Hammock. More specifically, they are aware that the city has a lease that extends through 2033, and that by continuing to pay this lease, we can delay a lot of, potentially delay a lot of additional debt, and that we can also delay a lot of additional traffic. So with that, I'll just turn this into the city clerk. There are over 1,300 names to date, and more have signed since I printed this afternoon.
Great. Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to address council at this time? God bless you. Seeing and hearing none, I'm going to close the public comment portion of the meeting and move on to the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of council? Our consent agenda are items number 4 through 12 this evening.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve them all, 4 to 12, consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, can we pull item 12 and make it a separate item for discussion?
Is there consensus to pull item 12?
Sure.
All righty. We will pull item 12. So we have an amended motion for items
4 through 11.
4 through 11. And anything else from anyone? I'll call the vote. All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 12A, which is resolution number 3845-19, engagement of Bryant Miller Olive for special legal counsel services. This time I'll turn it over to Mr. Cobb for a brief introduction.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a request to engage Bryant Miller Olive, the city's bond counsel, for special legal services to the city with respect to the proposed amendment to the ground lease for the 61.24 acres that are located immediately to the City Hall to the north, where we have our what we call the perk ponds. The developer, if you remember when you transmitted the comprehensive plan amendment, there were 31.24 acres, or 31.42 acres of the property that would be designated public in the future land use map. The developer has approached the city about the city purchasing the property, and we have been discussing different options with him. We had a conference call a few weeks ago with staff, the developer, his folks. Mr. Group was there. We also had Mr. George Smith from Bryant Miller Olive, as well as Mark Galvin, our financial advisor. I noticed quickly that we need Mr. Smith assisting us with this endeavor. He was quick to point out Florida law, quick to point out Florida case law, quick to point out the intricacies of the city's charter. The developer and their representative, they proposed many different things. And it just became very clear to me that we needed Mr. Smith on board. Also, Bryant Miller Olive has a P3 expert, and that's one of the things that we've also been discussing, whether we would pursue a public-private partnership with this as part of this initiative. And his P3 expert actually helped write the Florida statute. So we feel like that it's imperative that for us to do proper due diligence, for us to not get sideways with our charter, for us to put together a proposal that we feel comfortable bringing back to City Council, that we need Mr. Smith and Bryant Miller Olive involved in whatever negotiations come about with the developer. And so that's why we recommend adoption 3845-19, adoption of the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb. I do appreciate it. I'll turn it over to the Deputy Mayor. He was the one who pulled it, and you can ask any questions you like.
No, I just wanted to make sure it was clear what we were going to use this attorney for, and that we're still doing our due diligence, and that we have not agreed to anything right now with the developer on the land, and we're still working on that. And we're using this attorney to make sure that we do not get sideways with our current charter, and we do everything above board with this attorney. So I just wanted to pull it because I wanted to make that clear that we're not rubber stamping anything. We're still doing our due diligence on this project. So.
Okay, great. Anything else? All due respect, could have made that clear while it was in consent agenda.
I just wanted it out there.
That's okay. Any other questions on this?
Yes. I don't have a question, but I'll just make a point, if you will. I was the lone vote against this, so it's moving forward. And, I always say when you're on the short end of something, you always you try to support it so it comes out the best way that it can. And I had a long talk with Brian about it because I'm a little uncomfortable retaining people. But, guys, look, something is going to happen with this. And, being that it was such a big vote, it was 4-1, it's going to move forward. So I want to make sure that the city doesn't make any mistakes. I gave Brian all my concerns, and I think concerns that even the members that voted for it have. We just want to make sure that as we move forward, everything is being looked at correctly, and these guys have helped us before. So my support of this doesn't change my vote of thinking that it should wait and we need more time, but I'm kind of glad it was pulled so we could make that clear. So I'm all good.
Great. Anything else? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of adopting Resolution 3845-19, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving along, we have no public hearings. We have no first readings of ordinances.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Did we need to make a motion to approve?
I don't think a motion was made, Mayor.
Oh, okay, I apologize. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 3845-19.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for catching that, Lonnie.
There you go.
I was moving right along to number 15. All right. Number 15, resolution number 3835-19, amendment to the site development order for Oviedo on the Park, Lot 4. Mr. Cobb, turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a request for the council to approve an amendment to site development order number 503-19, which is for Lot 4 of Oviedo on the Park. City Council originally approved the site development order at its August 5th, 2019 meeting with the adoption of resolution number 3781-19. The total land area is 4.25 acres. The project includes 2 restaurant buildings of 6,200 square feet and 7,000 square feet, a third multi-tenant commercial retail building of 7,800 square feet, and a fourth multi-tenant commercial retail building of 6,400 square feet, totaling 27,400 square feet. The applicant had to make some adjustments to the site plan to accommodate the location. They had some new siding of the buildings, which adjusted the parking, which adjusted a number of other things that cascaded through. The end result was that the applicant needed 9 deviations to the land development code. The requirements for parking lot, for the parking lot requirements for large trees, landscape buffers, there's a parking space deviation regarding more than 1 row of parking in front of the building, and then there's also a deviation for a setback along Microberta Way. Staff reviewed the requested deviation, worked with the developer on the proposed mitigations, and recommends approval. Staff also recommends approval of the amended site development order. It's recommended that the City Council adopt resolution number 3835-19.
Thank you, Mr. Cobb. Appreciate it. Is there, I didn't see the applicant anywhere.
Good evening. I'm not the applicant, but I do represent him for this evening. I'm David Byer, address 4798 New Broad Street, Orlando. Also engineer of record, so if there is any questions, I can answer them.
Great. Any questions from council on this item? We're good right now? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All righty. I have no request to speak forms on this item. Does anybody in the audience want to address council? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close the public comment portion and move on to the pleasure of council.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 3835-19.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Deputy Mayor, you have the floor.
It looks good. These projects over there are looking good. They're coming along, and let's make Oviedo on the Park complete.
Great. Councilman Britton?
I'm good, thank you.
Councilman Henkin? Councilman Chudnow?
I have no issues with the deviation request.
All righty. Yeah, most of what's being asked for is minor. Dr. Correa, you and your staff did a great job with the explanations and mitigation for what they were asking for, so some of it was unavoidable, it seemed. So great job. All righty. Anything else for the good of the order? Now, Mr. Grid, I did have a motion that time.
Yes, sir.
Just checking. All righty. All those in favor of the motion to adopt resolution number 3835-19, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All righty. Moving on to the second part of the item. This is resolution number 3836-19. It's the site development order for Lot 8 at Oviedo on the Park. So I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a request for the City Council to approve site development order number 506-19 for Lot 8 of Oviedo on the Park. The property is located on the north side of Mitchell Hammock Road and on the east side of Oviedo Boulevard. So it's the small lot there between Oviedo Boulevard and the funeral home. The total land area is 1.12 acres. The project consists of 1 commercial building of 9,948 square feet. It includes general retail and possibly fast casual restaurant uses. There are 40 off-street parking spaces and as well as some 11 on-street parking spaces. The request contains no deviations to the Land Development Code minimum requirements. We do have a condition in the site development order regarding a street light on Mitchell Hammock Road. There are 3 mobility strategies that have been proposed per the comprehensive plan requirements. It's recommended that the City Council adopt Resolution Number 3836-19.
Great, thank you, Mr. Cobb. Is the applicant present? Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Eric Lagacy with Lynn Engineering, the engineer on the project, 711 Executive Drive, Winter Park. Answer any questions that you guys might have.
Okay, great. Anybody have any questions for the engineer? No. None at this time. If we do, we'll call you back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody like to address council on this item? I have no written requests. Seeing and hearing none, I'm going to close the public comment and move on to the pleasure of council.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution Number 3836-19.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Deputy Mayor, you have the floor.
Looks good. I like that this one had no deviations, so we're looking good.
Great. Councilman Chudnow?
I agree. I have no questions or comments on the project.
Councilman Britton?
I'm good, thank you.
Councilman Hankin?
Looks good, thank you, sir.
Well, it's that lot had a lot of little challenges to it, and it looks like you guys have all overcome it. Interesting to see what you're doing with the water, because it's kind of straddles 2 different water management areas. But great job. But Dr. Cree, I do have one question, if you don't mind. I noticed this and it jumped out at me because I had never seen it before. What exactly is a bike repair station?
So this is something that we have seen in national conferences. It's a little, station that you can repair bikes,
It has like air and stuff?
Yeah, and some tools, and it's very cool. And since we are stimulating people to bike, I mean, that is going to be something that is also going to help, make it easy and convenient for people that want to bike.
Nice. Well, it just jumped out at me, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And gentlemen, thank you for installing it. We'll see how much use it gets. Hopefully a lot. All right. Are there any other questions for the good of the order? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the vote. The motion on the table is to adopt Resolution 3836-19. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have no discussion items. Mr. Cobb, you're up. Your report.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to remind you, this weekend is the Festival of Frights, which will be held Friday and Saturday night at Center Lake Park. This is a replacement of the Carnival of Screams. And so it's something brand new that the Recreation Department will be putting on this year. It should be a fantastic time. Also want to remind you that the Oviedo Haggerty game is Friday night at Oviedo High School. I haven't received any details from the schools yet, but as soon as I do, I will forward them on to you. So we have a busy weekend.
Great. Thank
That's
you,
all I
Brian.
have, Mayor.
Mr. Groot.
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All righty. Let's see. Deputy Mayor Pollak, you're up.
I guess it was last Sunday I went over to the new ER that's in town and presented them with the letter.
Oh, great.
It looks great. It's great to have more medical facilities in the community. We were begging for years for one hospital. Now we got 2 ERs and a hospital, so it's coming along. And let's see, you had already talked about the game on Friday night, and I think that's all I had.
Awesome. Councilman Hankin, you're up.
All good, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Chudnow.
I only have one item. A couple of weeks ago, I spent the morning over at Haggerty assisting the supervisor of elections, talking to some students about elections and voting and register some voters, and it was very interesting, some of the questions that they had, and it was a good time.
Did you get speeding up and down Lockwood?
Of course I did.
And legalized marijuana? That's always when they ask.
I didn't get any of those, and I did address the speedings from the police point of view also.
That's right. Well, that's because you're the chief of police. I want to ask you that question. Those are the kind of questions that we usually get. That is awesome, Chief. Also, the breakfast, the Boys and Girls Club breakfast was awesome.
We had, Boys and Girls Club of Seminole had an annual fundraising breakfast over in Lake Mary. Oviedo was very well represented. We raised an additional $6,000
Nice, great.
for the Oviedo. We're starting the renovations on the building with gutting and roofing as Phase 1. Those should be started within a week or two. So the project is moving forward, not as rapidly as I was hoping, but it's moving forward.
Well, that's terrific. The breakfast was awesome. The speakers were great. Enjoyed it, and I thank you guys for the invite. All righty. Councilman Britton, you're up.
Don't have much. I just want to say I was out of town last week and drove through Wisconsin, of all places. And all you have to do is drive through some of those old towns up in the Midwest to realize they would all wish they had our problems. There's a lot of small towns, a lot of depressed areas, a lot of unregulated growth out in the middle of farmland. So we got a lot to be thankful for here, and I think we got a lot of opportunities we can move forward with. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Just a couple items for myself. I'm the last one up. We'll make it quick. We had Tri-County League of Cities Luncheon was hosted by Oviedo the other day, and Councilman Britton and Councilman Chudnow were both there, and I think we had looked like about 70, 75 people there, so it was well attended. I always like welcoming that crowd because that's elected officials from all over, and when they come and they start to walk around Oviedo on the park, did you happen to notice the commissioner from Eatonville and one of the Kissimmee, it might have been Kissimmee, they were walking around with their cell phones and they were videotaping it, the whole entire park, and taking pictures because they wanted to take it back and show their commission what we've done, accomplished, and what's still coming. So that's always a great meeting. I attended the Arttoberfest this weekend. That was over in Winter Springs, put on by the Chamber. They got a little bit rained out on Saturday, but they seemed to have a really good crowd on Sunday. So kudos to them for putting on a great event. And then Chief Coleman, we were at your bowl-a-thon on, what was that, 2 Saturdays ago, I think. Saturday or 2 ago. Did it raise a lot of money? Do you know yet? Little over $8,000. Well, that is awesome. That is great. I saw Emma was there at it, having a good time. Megan was there at it, having a good time. It was well attended. It was a lot of fun. We had the bowl 5 games, but Councilman Henkin and our team, we did take home the trophy again. So we took it the first year of it, and we took it the last year not the last year we were going to do it. Last year we were elected.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. So we'll come back next year and we'll defend our crown. With all that being said, that is the end of my report. Is there anything else for the good of the order from anyone? No? Good. Well, quick, easy meeting this evening. Let me give you future meeting dates. Monday, November 4th, 2019, 6:30 p.m. is our regular session. Monday, November 18th, 2019, 6:30 p.m. is our regular session. And really anything after that doesn't matter to me, so no. We have December 2nd, 5:30 p.m., all you newly electeds, whoever you are. You have a CRA meeting that night at 5:30. Put it down in your calendar. Then at regular session at 6:30 p.m. Then you go into January 6th. 6:30 p.m. is the regular session, and this is not a mistake. It is Tuesday, January 21st at 6:30 p.m. because Monday, January 20 is Martin Luther King Day. So with all of that being said, we will adjourn at, let's call it 7:10.